Can you imagine that in 2026, the world's only superpower, America, will be defeated by a country it has been imposing sanctions on for the past 40 years? This is not my opinion, but the statement of Professor Sain, whose two predictions about Trump have already come true. Now, the third prediction is waiting.
The United States will lose this war, which will forever change the global order.
But a terrifying prediction by Professor Sain, an expert in game theory and global geopolitics, and it is rapidly becoming reality. If it turns out to be true, the money in your bank account over the next 6 months will remain just a pile of paper, and the world system could change forever. In this video, we will reveal the secret scenario that mainstream media is hiding from you. We will see how Iran's $50,000 cheap drones are reducing America's $1 trillion pride to dust. Most importantly, is Donald Trump pushing the entire world toward a catastrophic war or emergency powers to extend his term, following the agenda of secret societies and the end times? In the next few minutes, you will see a side of the truth that the world may not even be aware of. Professor Sain's first prediction was that Donald Trump would win the election again, which turned out to be correct. The second prediction was that as soon as Trump came to power, a terrible war between America and Iran would begin, and that also happened. But the third prediction, which shocked everyone, was that the world's largest superpower, America, would suffer a severe defeat in this war. And this is not just a prediction. There are many logical reasons behind it. In today's video, we will do a complete post-mortem of this third and most dangerous operation and understand how a military superpower could lose to Iran. Professor Sain, an expert in game theory and geopolitical events, has made it clear in his latest interview that America cannot win this war in any way. Let's get straight to the point and understand where Iran stands at this moment. According to the professor's deep analysis, Iran has been preparing for this war for the past 20 years. It is seen as the last war for its Islamic regime, in which they consider America the ultimate devil. Iran gained significant experience from the war last June. At that time, they not only attacked, but also studied the strengths of America and Israel, the weaknesses in their defense systems, and the methods of their attacks in depth. They had 8 months to fully prepare for this new assault. During this time, they were negotiating with America and buying time. The most important thing is that Iran is using proxies rather than engaging directly in battle. These proxies include the Yemeni Houthis, Lebanon's, Hezbollah, Palestine's, Hamas, and various Shia militants in Iraq and Syria. They have all studied America's mindset and the way it fights. Now their strategy is not just to kill American soldiers, but to destroy the entire American empire and the global economy. Instead of confronting America directly, these groups are targeting countries that are the real economic power of America, Gulf countries such as Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and Bahrain. You can imagine how dangerous and well-planned Iran's strategy is. They are not just dropping missiles on military bases, but are targeting the critical energy and water infrastructure of these Arab countries. In the Middle East, drinking water is not a natural resource. These countries desalinate seawater to produce drinking water. More than 60% of their water comes from these desalination plants. Professor Sain gave a terrifying example. If a small Iranian drone, costing only $50,000, were to hit a major desalination plant in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the city of 10 million people, would run out of drinking water in just 2 weeks. Imagine a whole city dying of thirst in just 2 weeks. At the same time, Iran has started blocking important maritime routes, such as the Strait of Hormuz, from which 90% of the food and grain of these Arab countries is imported. People generally think this would only cause minor disruption or affect the global economy slightly. But in reality, Iran is threatening the existence of countries like Saudi Arabia and the UAE. It is important to know that these Arab countries also act as the backbone of the American economy. The main reason is the petrodollar system. These Arab countries sell their oil in dollars, which keeps the global demand for dollars high. Then they invest those dollars back into the US stock market and real estate. Today, the entire American economy and stock market rely on artificial intelligence. The largest investments in AI data centers come from these Gulf and Arab countries. If this war prevents these countries from selling oil, their economies will collapse, and they will obviously stop investing in the American AI system. The day this Arab investment stops, America's artificial AI bubble will burst, and the entire American economy will collapse, a financial Ponzi scheme, as Professor Sain calls it. Now the question arises, why can the world's most advanced and powerful American military not compete with these cheap drones? The real reason is that the structure and mindset of the American military were built during World War II and the Cold War. At that time, competition was about showing muscle, who has the most expensive and complex technology, who gets to the moon first, who has the largest missiles. The entire US air defense system is based on expensive, complex technology costing billions to build and operate. But the 21st century war has changed completely. This is the era of asymmetric warfare, where a very cheap weapon can destroy a very expensive system. Recently, a video from Israel surprised defense experts worldwide. An Iranian ballistic missile was descending toward the ground, and America and Israel fired 11 interceptor missiles to stop it. Yet, they could not intercept it. Meanwhile, the Iranian Shahed drones are fully made in Iran and Russia, meaning they don't rely on any other country for their supply line. The Shahed 136 drone, also called Jiran-2, has become a game changer in modern warfare due to its simplicity and low cost. It can cover 2,000 kilometers at 185 kilometers per hour using only 100 liters of fuel. It's easy to operate. You just input GPS coordinates. Flying very low gives it two advantages. It spreads fear wherever it goes, and it is extremely hard to intercept. This 8-foot wide drone can carry up to 40 kilograms of explosives. It's like using a train to stop a car with an expensive interceptor missile. The US Defense Secretary and Joint Chiefs have said, Iranian drones are causing bigger problems than ballistic missiles and are harder to stop. This is a huge financial disaster. A cheap Iranian drone or missile costs a few $1,000s, while an American interceptor missile costs millions. Using a $2 million missile to destroy a $50,000 drone is unsustainable over time. The US stock of expensive missiles is quickly depleting, and they are even using Asian military reserves saved for fear of China. This is a sign of America's weakening power, which has ruled the world for 20 years. If this continues, not only will the petrodollar collapse, but the world will quickly shift toward a multipolar system, burying America's influence. Moreover, America and Israel are still only conducting airstrikes. History shows no country has ever changed another country's government through airstrikes alone. To change a regime, ground troops must be deployed at all costs. According to top US officials and the Secretary of War, America does not intend to send ground troops. In the coming months, there will be pressure from Arab countries and Israel for America to deploy ground troops and eliminate Iran's threat. If these countries suffer damage, the American petrodollar will also sink. Now the question is, why did President Donald Trump enter a war that top military command had already warned against? According to Professor Sain, there are three main reasons behind this reckless decision. Overconfidence. Trump recently became overconfident in the American military's capability after a small successful operation in Venezuela. Just like Hitler, who became prideful after easily conquering Europe and attacked the Soviet Union, leading to his army's destruction. Political benefit. Although America gains nothing from this war, Trump personally gains political and financial benefits. Saudi Arabia and Israel are indirectly lobbying for the war. Remember, Saudi Arabia invested $2 billion in Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner's private equity fund. Israel's major financial backers, such as Miriam Adelson, are funding Trump's political career. Although the US Constitution prevents a third term, Miriam openly said she would give Trump $250 million if he fights for a third term. Secret societal agenda. Professor Sain also stated that examining old leaks and Epstein files reveals that the world is controlled by secret societies. The most famous is the Illuminati, divided into three groups: Jesuits, controlling the Vatican; Sabatian Franks, controlling Israel's power structure; and Freemasons, controlling America's national security and military apparatus. These secret and powerful groups believe a great war in the Middle East will happen in the end times. including Israel, in this war is essential for them to establish their heaven on earth. This is a pre-written spiritual script they follow constantly, regardless of logic or global economic consequences. This is Professor Sane's third prediction, now appearing to come true after the first two. The key point is that America is fighting a war where even a lucky victory would still count as a great defeat. Just like the attacks on Iraq, Libya, Syria, and Afghanistan, attacking Iran will also be like a self-inflicted kick. What is your opinion? Share it in the comments section. I hope you like and share this video. See you in the next major video.